जयो राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी. Mataji, should I continue? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dhanya Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Welcome, dear devotees. So, Anand Prabhu is waiting to start the session. Over to you, Anand Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, and thank you so much, Prashanti Mataji. Wonderfully sung, very soulful.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dhanya Pranam.
We get started. Om Madhyanamita Virandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Katati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kunta Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome to this evening session, which is essentially a continuation of Damodar Ashtakam. What happens after Krishna tracks the mortar and goes outside the courtyard. What does he do? I'm sure the speakers till now have talked through this glorious pastime of Nala Kuvera and Manigriva, who are the sons of Kuvera, and how they were cursed by Narad Muni, and they became trees which don't have any consciousness, right? Just as they say, colloquially in many languages, if somebody is shouting at someone and someone doesn't respond, why are you standing like a tree, right? Why are you not reacting to it? So, okay, one moment. Little low. Hare Krishna. Okay. Is it better, Mataji? No?
It's good only, Prabhuji.
Better?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's good only.
I can't hear you.
We are able to hear, Prabhuji. We are able to hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Now it's
Okay.
good.
But
Okay. Yeah, is the volume better now, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Is it okay, Prabhu? Krishnamurti Prabhu? Volume?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I was sharing that, humorously, if somebody is shouting and, somebody doesn't respond, why are you standing like a tree? So anybody who doesn't have much consciousness, or the consciousness is the lowest level, like the way Manigriva and Nala Kuvera and Manigriva reacted to the sage Naraj Muni, to the Muni Narada, when they didn't react and they were shamelessly standing naked, they were turned into trees. Right? Now, it's also mentioned in the run-up to the shloka number 36, maybe, that I'm going to share my screen, that even if a devotee curses any other devotee, or not necessarily devotee, any jivatma, it is for the benefit of the jivatma, because devotee always has the best interests for the other jivatma. He's paradukha dukhi, always, right? So Narada Muni, though he externally appeared as if it was a curse, internally it was a time for uplifting the consciousness of Nalakuvera and Manigriva, to the extent that they can have direct darshan of the Lord, and they are actually redeemed by none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Right? And they appear as two beautiful forms, very ethereal, very beautiful forms, who are now offering their Mangalachar, right, if you will, to Krishna for basically saving their lives, saving their wretched life as a jada, as a tree, and giving them back their original bodies. And now the consciousness before and after has changed. It's no longer that unabashed shamelessness that they demonstrated 100 demigod years back, right? And now they are transformed. They have fully realized, they have darshan of the Lord, they have uplifted themselves to a better destiny, right? So we pick from this preface. Let me just share my screen, and please let me know once you are able to see my screen. Let me know once you see my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Prabhu, if you can enlarge the font a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
The font is very small.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Is it better now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So we'll start. Nama Parama Kalyana, Nama Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Santaya, Yadunam Pataye Namaha. Next to read the translation.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Srila Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead.
Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can read.
Yeah, yes.
Shall I? Hare Krishna,
Go ahead,
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
Namaha Parama Kalyana, Namaha Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Santaya, Yadunam Patyate Namaha. Translation by C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki Jai. Oh, supremely auspicious, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you, who are the supreme good, O most famous descendant and controller of the Yadu dynasty, O son of Vasudeva, O most peaceful, let us offer our obeisances unto your lotus feet. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So anybody wants to read the purport? I think Divya Mata, who raised? I can't see the order. And difficult to see the order. I can see 3 people have raised.
Hare Krishna ji.
Yes, yes. Yes,
Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Parama Kalyana is significant because Krishna in any of his incarnations appear in order to protect the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhu nam. The sadhu saintly persons or devotees are always harassed by non-devotees, and Krishna appears in his incarnation to give them relief. This is his first concern. If we study the history of Krishna's life, we shall find that for most of his life, he predominantly engaged in killing demons one after another. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. So there is a question here. Now, Krishna, to give relief to his devotees, can actually arrange for it, right? He can change the material nature. He can produce some savior in the interim. He can have another Jivatma help this Jivatma who's struggling. But why does Krishna need to personally come? Why does he do a paritranaya sadhana? Why does he have to why does he have to personally come and kill the demons and give relief to the devotees? Anybody wants to give an answer?
Because Krishna loves his
Prabhuji.
devotees.
To protect the devotees and annihilate the demons and to establish the
Yeah, that is correct. But Mataji, why does he have to personally come? See, he can always arrange through demigods, right? I think
He
somebody
wanted to
said it.
perform the pastimes, Prabhuji,
His
so
devotees.
that we can release them.
Yeah, yes, I think somebody said that. Yes, yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
He perform the
Yes.
pastimes, Prabhuji, so that we can release them.
All that is perfectly fine. I think somebody said it right, because he loves his devotees.
Loves his devotees more than
all his
Yes.
devotees.
Because he loves his devotees, he personally comes and saves his devotees and annihilates the demons. Now think of it this way. I think somebody's audio is on. I think now Kishori Mataji is. Yeah, it's gone better now. Now think of a scenario this way. Let's say your child is having a birthday, okay, and you're stuck in some meeting, something very urgent. You're not able to make time, so you send some representative. You send someone who can deliver gifts. Now, your son or your daughter, they may be happy receiving the gift, but they will sorely miss your presence, right? How things could be if my parent, my father or my mother could have made it to the occasion. Now, if you're able to, let's say, somehow postpone that meeting or that urgent engagement and come in person, and in fact, if you build up a suspense saying that actually, I may not be able to come, I'll send someone, and actually you come, you go to the occasion, your son or daughter is going to be very excited, right? Their joy is going to grow no bounds. So similarly, Krishna, when he comes personally, he's able to relish the mood of the devotees. Devotees are able to relish the mood of the Lord. It's a two-way street. And therefore, Krishna personally comes to save his devotees. And he shows his commitment. He shows that I am, I have your back, right? And he shows that kind of commitment and comes and delivers the devotees also in cases where they are struggling, right? So it comes personally to deliver the devotees also in many cases. So we'll go to the next one. Anujani no bhumams tava anuchara kinkarau darshanam no bhagavata visher asi anugrahat. Everybody wants to.
Lalit Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Anujani no bhumas. Tavanujara kinkarau. Darshanam no bhagavata. Rishit asid anugrahat. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. O Supreme Form, we are always servants of your servants, especially of Narada Muni. Now give us permission to leave for our home. It is by the grace and mercy of Narada Muni that we have been able to see your face to face. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. And anybody wants to read the purport? Anybody? Many people have their hands raised. Please go ahead.
Yes,
I think,
Prabhuji.
yes, Sindhu Mataji. Please go ahead.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Unless delivered or blessed by a devotee, one cannot realize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. According to this verse of Bhagavad Gita 7.3, there are so many siddhas or yogis who cannot understand Krishna. Instead, they misunderstand him. But if one takes shelter of a devotee descending from the parampara system of Narada, Swayambhu Narada Sambhu, one can then understand who is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, many pseudo-incarnations are advertised simply for having exhibited some magical performances, but except for persons who are servants of Narada and other servants of Krishna, no one can understand who is God, who and who is not. This is confirmed by Narottama Das Thakura. Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Paye Chekeba. No one is delivered from the material conception of life unless favored by a Vaishnava. Others can never understand, neither by speculation nor by any other bodily or mental gymnastics. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, a couple of things are mentioned. One is in the translation, both of them are mentioning, O Supreme Form, we are always servants of your servants, especially of Narada Muni. Now, Narada Muni is the one who actually cursed them. But they see Narada Muni as their spiritual master, as someone who's shown the way. So Guru means, the word Guru is someone who enlightens, someone who removes the darkness. And the darkness of, there was a mention in one of the shlokas earlier that there are four qualities, or there are four auspiciousness or riches, so it's summarized in one of the shlokas in Bhagwatam. Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri Veer Edamana Madapuman Naiva Arhati Abhidatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Kocharam. So there are four qualities. The one who's on the path of, there are four types of people. One is the one with having higher or respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty. Among these four, one of the shlokas in this chapter says that the one with greatest opulence is probably the worst among the lot, right? As they say, money can bring in arrogance. It can bring in a false sense of pride, forgetting the fact that finally we'll turn into bodies which will be fed to the worms and stool, worms of the ground, or we'll get basically, some last rites will be performed and all of us are going to lose our bodies. Irrespective of that, people consider that when they have great opulence, they feel as if they are, they have an authority in this world. Everybody around them are actually their servants. They get this controllership mentality. Now, from that position, right, where Nalakuvera and Manikriva were situated, now consider this particular shloka where they say that we are servant of servants of especially Narada Muni. Now, it's also interesting, and Prabhupada mentions this further down, that unless one is blessed by devotee, and there is a mention of parampara system from Narada, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu. So it starts from Krishna, then it is Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Madhva, Padmanabha, Narhari, Madhava, Akshopya, Jayatirtha, I'm just reading out, Jnana Sindhu, Dayas Nidhi, they're all spiritual in the line of disciplinic succession. Jaya Dharma, Purushottama, Then it comes down to Ishwara Puri, who was Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master. Then Rupa Goswami, then Raghunath Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Krishna Dasa, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanatha, Jagannatha, Bhakti Vinod, Gaura Kishora, and 31 is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and 32 is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this is the discipling succession which is being talked about, and we are all so fortunate to be part of this succession, right? Directly starting from Krishna up to Prabhupada and carried on by their spiritual masters. So that is one. And there's another, I'm reminded of another very interesting verse from Mukunda Mala Stotra. I'm going to just present that. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Majjanma phalam idam madhukaitavare matpraniya mat anugraha esha eva tvad pritya paricharaka prityasya pritya itimam smaralokanata. O enemy of Madhu and Kaitaba, O Lord of the universe, the perfection of my life, and the most cherished mercy you showed me would be for you to consider me the servant of 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 your servant. So this 7 times servant is not a spelling mistake, but it is purposefully baked into the shloka to show how devotees need to consider themselves in terms of they should act, they should think lowly, not act lowly. I hope you get my point. It's not that somebody should act lowly. Someone shouldn't fall down, but he should act fallen. Got the point? That the aspect of having humility, that is what is being described. So here, this rhymes with some of the other acharyas that have quoted about taking a humble position. Right? The more humbler you are, the more advanced you will get in spiritual practices. That's for sure. So, and here, if one takes the shelter of a devotee descending from the parampara system, which I just talked about, starting from Krishna up to Srila Prabhupada, one can then understand who is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, many pseudo-incarnations are advertised simply for having exhibited some magical performances. But except for persons who are servants of Narada and other servants of Krishna, no one can understand who's God and who's not. So here, the attribution to being part of an original parampara is overemphasized. It is, one should not fall prey to many so-called acharyas whom you can find on YouTube and on public domain and on internet, who will essentially attract you with their clever use of words. They will be able to say something which may sound very logical. Yes, I think what he says makes sense. Now, someone being articulate, someone being logical in his conversation doesn't mean that he comes in a parampara, right? It doesn't mean that he's going to quote what the scriptures which Lord Krishna and our acharyas have entrusted us with, right? So anyone who doesn't follow or doesn't base his arguments on shastras, however logical, however articulate, however compelling he may look like when hearing, such philosophies should be rejected. Okay? So it's important to hear from authentic sources, people who are in the disciplinic succession. That is very, very important. Otherwise, the conception of God can become very twisted. This is confirmed by Narottam Das Thakur. Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Payeche Keba. No one is delivered from the material conception of life unless favored by a Vaishnava. Otherwise, others can never understand, neither by speculation nor by any bodily or mental gymnastics. So the 3 parts: speculation, showing some magical, display, right? There are multiple ways to, you can become the smallest of small, you can become the biggest of big. So there are some yogic shaktis that you can exhibit. That doesn't mean that you're in devotee. I think I see two people. I think Divya Mataji, your hands are up. Any question? Anything, Mataji? Very good. Any
No,
questions?
Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So anyone who displays that gymnastics in terms of word articulation, showing some kind of jadoo, I'm doing, something with my hands and something vanishes, something comes. One should not fall prey there, right? Those are essentially powers that anyone can easily accomplish. The real power is not showing something physical like this. The real power is transformation of one's consciousness, which Srila Prabhupada demonstrated when he converted those hippies to happies. It is very, very, very difficult to change somebody's consciousness. And embarking on that mission as part of this Vaishnava Parampara is the task that which each of us have taken up. And with empowerment from our spiritual masters, from the disciplinic succession, we'll be able to deliver this message as it is and bring transformation in the hearts of the people around us. So that is the message which is coming out centrally from this purport. Any questions before we move to the next one? Okay. Vani gunanu katane shavanau katayam hastau cha karmasu manastava padayorna smrityam siristava nivasat jagat praname drishti satam darshanestu bhavat tanunam. Anybody wants to read the purport and translation? Translation purport. Anybody who has not read so far?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead. Yes, Salome Mataji, you can follow, I think, Archana Mataji. So let Mataji read the translation, you can read the purport.
Okay, Prabhuji. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Henceforward, may all our words describe your pastimes. May our ears engage in oral reception of your glories. May our hands, legs, and other senses engage in actions pleasing to you. And may our minds always think of your lotus feet. May our heads offer our obeisances to everything within this world, because all things are also your different forms. And may our eyes see the forms of Vaishnavas who are non-different from you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I think who raised the hand next? Salome Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Here the process of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead is given. This process is bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. Everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate in the Narada Pancharatra. Everything, the mind, the body, and all the sense organs should be engaged in Krishna's service. This is to be learned from expert devotees like Narada, Swayambhu, and Shambhu. This is the process. We cannot manufacture our own way of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for it is not that everything one manufactures or concocts will lead to understanding God. Such a proposition, yata mata tata pata, is foolish. Krishna says, Bhaktyaham ekaya grayaha. Only by executing the activities of bhakti can one understand me. Bhagavad Gita 11:14-21. This is called Anukulyana Krishna
Anushilanam.
Yeah. Remaining engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, the 9 limbs of bhakti has been described, right? And you mentioned these, who turned into devotees of the Lord. They say that, let our senses engage in actions pleasing to you. May our minds always think of your lotus feet. May our head offer obeisances to everything within this world, because all these things are also your different forms. May our eyes see the forms of Vaishnavas who are non-different from you. Now, here there's a mention of the 9 limbs, and if you look at Kirtanam, the reason I'm emphasizing on Kirtanam, because Shravanam comes ahead of it. Shravanam will ensure that you develop the right taste. You're driven to do a certain thing, based on hearing from classes, from acharyas, from spiritual masters, from Vaishnavas, and then you'll start to apply it. So when you do Kirtanam, which is, there are 2 parts to Kirtanam. One is essentially anything that glorifies the Lord. If you're talking about his name, if he's chanting his name, if you're talking about his pastimes, if you're talking about Krishna in general, in any which way, you're talking about his name, pastimes, forms, then you're actually doing Kirtanam. Okay? Now, Kirtanam, one aspect of Kirtanam is Japa. Now, Japa is essentially, basically, there are 3 ways to do Japa. One is the way where basically Vachika, where you are very loudly chanting, chanting so loudly that people around you are getting disturbed, right? The other is you are chanting with a murmur, like, you are basically chanting adequately enough that you are able to hear the holy names. That is second way. The third is Manasika. Manasika means chanting by mind, right? And I heard it from in some lectures that Haridas Thakur, when he chanted those 192 rounds, 1/3 he will do Vachika, then 1/3 he will do adequately enough that he could hear the holy names, and 1/3 he would do Manasik. And of course, Prabhupada has very clearly defined that the right way to chant is in a way where you're not loud, you are not doing it in mind, but you are doing enough so that you can hear the holy names yourself. Right? Now, that's the right way of chanting. And there are 3 aspects, in chanting itself. It's like a tripod. So there are 3 sense organs which are involved. The first is mouth. The second is ears. The third is mind. So you have to make sure that the 3 connect. So when we chant the holy names, our tongue vibrates, right? And when we hear, our ear is essentially sunk in the holy names of the Lord. And it registers in the mind. We are able to hear the holy names. We are able to read the transcript of the holy name. Those aksharas are becoming evident to us. And therefore, we are able to register, right? So all the 3 limbs have to be, all the 3 sense organs have to be completely applied. And here, Rupa Goswami has given a wonderful shloka, right? And I'll talk about the shloka. It's very, very beautiful shloka. Tunde tandavini ratim vitanute tundavali labdaye karna krodha kadambini gatayate karnarbude buddebhya sprha cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam kriti no jane janita kiyadvir amritai krishneti varnadvai. So here, it's beautiful shloka, and just we'll go through the translation. I do not know how much nectar the 2 syllables Krishna has produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many, many, many millions of years. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert, right? So that's the power of chanting, that it brings all other senses under control so beautifully, right? And the interesting part is that this shloka was recited before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu made a declaration soon after Rupa Goswami, recited the shloka which he composed. Mahaprabhu said, "Never ever I have heard such a beautiful glorification of the holy name as Rupa, you have sung, and you will become the Parampara Acharya from now." And Mahaprabhu gave him that designation. So we always quote Rupa Goswami. We always take his words. We are Rupanugas. Okay? So to basically explain a little more about the shloka, it's beautiful shloka. Here, His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu, he talks about the shloka. He mentions that the holy name, the two-syllable lady, is dancing on the platform of the tongue. Now, it is witnessed by whom? Dvijas. What is a dvija in our mouth? Anybody can just mention? What is dvija in our mouth? Dvija. Dvija means twice born.
Twice born.
Sorry, Mataji. Haribol. Okay. So dvija is basically, dvija stands for twice born. Twice born, in this case, the 32 pair of teeth that we have, those are dvijas, because you get the milk tooth and then you get the permanent tooth, right? So these dvijas are witnessing, or here, they're witnessing this holy name. And once the holy name pleases, it asks for a benediction, right? Now that I've pleased you, I need a benediction. And what is that benediction? That many, many mouths need to be given to it. So not just one mouth. I need to dance in so many other mouths and give joy, right? So that's the desire of the holy name, right? Now, what happens next is when the holy name is chanted from the mouth, it enters our ear hole. So there is an interesting word called kadambini, right? What is kadambini? Kadambini is called a water spinach. I'll give you a photo from YouTube to show how it looks like. You're able to see this? There's a water body on which this water spinach has come up, right? The property of water spinach is that you give it a small piece of land, parcel, or of water body. It will take up the whole real estate there, right? So you give it an inch, it will occupy the whole land, right? So that is the beauty of holy name. It behaves like Kadambini. It will take up everything that is given. It will completely take up our ears. And then once that ear is the ear where the holy name has taken up, it becomes inadequate. What does it do? It enters the holes of the ears of millions of other ears, because that is not enough. It needs a bigger platform. So it goes in to the holes of many, many ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind. And therefore, all senses become inert. So once the holy name enters our heart, so we are inviting a guest, right? That guest says that, right, I have come here, but I need the entire real estate that you're giving me. All the anarthas, right, which are like lust, greed, all the sensual desires, all the material desires, they get kicked out from the heart when this holy name enters. Such a beautiful shloka. I was like I really relished this shloka, and I would, if people want to commit this to their memory and use it in telling people why chanting is so important, there's nothing better than that. So I know we are at 8:43 at the moment. I'll stop here. Any questions? We'll move to Damodar Ashtakam from here. Yeah, Salome Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I hope today is not the last class. It's the last day of Kartik month. I was hearing a lecture where Narada Muni had chastised Nalakuvera and Manigriva, it was actually a benediction for them.
Correct.
Because when they became trees, Krishna was playing on them, playing around them. And, we do parikram, for Krishna. And yet when they were trees, Krishna was doing parikram for them, in other words, because he was holding them, jumping on them, going on the tree, going around them, which whoever has that blessing to ever do. So it was more a blessing for them than, a chastisement.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mataji.
Thank
In
you.
fact, the 36th verse, right? I'm not sure if you joined then at the time we were describing 36. There was a mention in the shloka that even if a Vaishnava chastises or curses, it's actually a benediction for the recipient. And exactly what you mentioned, Salamji.
He had more benediction than anybody else. Because
Yes.
as long as they were trees,
Yeah,
were
yes.
trees, Krishna crawled around them for years.
Yes.
Until he benedicted them. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mataji. I'll just get my son to sing this Damodar Ashtakam. Just give me a moment. I'll be away for a second. Hare Krishna, you're able to hear me? I'll just
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to see if I can. Are the deities visible at the moment? Vivu?
Yes, Prabhuji, you can see it.
Yes, yes. So we'll sing Damodar Ashtakam. My son will lead the Kirtan, the Ashtakam. Just let me know if you're able to hear.
Can he come close to the mic, Prabhuji? Can he come close to the mic?
Yes,
Can your
yes,
son?
yes. I'll have to. Yes, yes, yes. Can you hear him now?
Is he singing? Yes, yes.
Hari Bol, Prabhu, I'm sorry. I think if he can only sing without the harmonium, because the voice is taking away his words.
Oh, okay. So sorry. Harmonium
Sorry,
is,
Prabhu.
no, it's very, very loud actually.
Yeah, Prabhu, only he can sing, please.
Okay.
Okay. What's your good name, Beta?
Sorry?
What's your good name?
Ashwin.
Ashwin, you can only sing without the music because music is taking away your voice, Beta. Yeah?
Sure.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Shwasagam patri rekha kantha stita graiva davam bhakti padam iti dresvalilabhirananda kunde Swagoshami majyantamakhyapayantya tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktechitatvam guna prematastam satavriti vande varam devamoksham na moksham vadimva Nachanyam vrineham vareshadapidham idam teva purnatha gopalabalam sadami manasya viraspankimandya idam te mukhamboja atyantanile Vritam kuntalaisnigdhatishagopya Mohoshchumbitam bimbaraktatharame Manasya virastam alam lakshalabhya Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasidha Prabodho Khajalati Mamam Kripa Drishti Vrishtyanti Dinam Bhatano Grahani Shamama Nyami Yakshidrishya Uverapnajau Baddha Mutvaya Yadvat Tvaya muchitau bhakti bhajo kritau cha tatha prema bhaktim swakam prayacha namokshe graho me sthidamodare namaste studame spru adipti dhame Vadiyodharaya tavishvaswadhami Namo radhikayai tvadiyai priyayai Namo namtalila yadevaya tobhyam Namo radhikayai tvadiyai priyayai Namo Namah Yadevaya Tobhyam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Prabhu, Jai Prabhu, Prabhu Jai Prabhu, Jai Jai Gurudev,
Gurudev,
Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Nita Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo.
Shri Bhagavatam Bhagavatam ki Jai. Now Prabhupada ki Jai. So we just finished our Damodara Ashtakam. So what is the next course, Mataji? Do we end the class here? Do we?
Prabhuji, usually if there are any doubts, they can ask. Otherwise, we can end the class, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I'm leaving, Prabhuji. You need to go out. Sorry, Hare
Sure,
Krishna.
sure.
Dandavat pranam.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, yes, any doubts, anything that needs to be clarified before we end the class? So, no further classes, no further doubts. Then I wish the practice that we established in Damodar month, the Kartik month, we're able to take the same consciousness and take it every day and pray with same sincerity that we've been doing in this month. And I wish all of you, including your immediate family members, the fact that Krishna's blessings should always stay with you in terms of spiritual progress and good health, to keep you completely locked in spiritual path. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So just end the class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.